10:13 a.m. or 10:13 p.m. And with that, I'm gonna go to staff for roll call vote or roll call. See if we have quorum.
Beginning with Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay did not answer roll call. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr. did not answer roll call. Honorable Paul Begay. Honorable Paul Begay. Honorable Paul Begay did not answer roll call. Honorable Nathaniel Brown.
Doug Brown is present.
Honorable Nathaniel Brown answered roll call. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton is present and answered via text. Honorable Amber Kines Bacrati. Honorable Amber Kines Bacrati. Honorable Amber Kines Bacrati did not answer roll call. Honorable Seth Damon. Honorable Seth Damon. Honorable Seth Damon answered roll call. Honorable Herman Daniels.
Present.
Honorable Herman Daniels answered roll call. Honorable Mark Freeland. Honorable Mark Freeland.
I'm here, present.
Honorable Mark Freeland answered roll call. Honorable Pernell Helona.
Hello, is present.
Honorable Pernell Helona answered roll call. Honorable Jamie Henio. Honorable Jamie Henio. Honorable Jamie Henio did not answer roll call. Honorable Vince James.
Delegate James present.
Honorable Vince James answered roll call. Honorable Rick Nez.
Delegate Rick Nez is present.
Honorable Rick Nez answered roll call. Honorable Carl Slater is excused. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr.
Present.
Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. answered roll call. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. answered roll call. Honorable Otto So is present. Honorable Charlene So.
I'm present.
Honorable Charlene So answered roll call. Honorable Daniel So.
I'm here.
Honorable Daniel So answered roll call. Honorable Eugene So.
Motion carried.
Honorable Eugene So answered roll call. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. did not answer roll call. Honorable Carl Slater answered roll call via text. Honorable Edison Juanica.
Here.
Honorable Edison Juanica answered roll call. Honorable Edmund Yazzie.
Yeah.
Honorable Edmund Yazzie answered roll call. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair.
I'm present.
Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair answered roll call. Going back up, Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay did not answer roll call. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr. did not answer roll call. Honorable Paul Begay. Honorable Paul Begay. Honorable Paul Begay did not answer roll call. Honorable Amber Kines Bacrati. Honorable Amber Canez-Bacrati answered roll call via text. Honorable Jamie Henio.
I'm present.
Honorable Jamie Henio answered roll call. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. answered roll call via text. With that, Honorable Speaker, you have 21 delegates, including yourself, who answered to roll call.
Thank you very much. Good evening again. We are out of recess. We have 21 delegates on the call
Keelan is present.
and also Keelan.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Key Allen Begay answered roll call, and Honorable Paul Begay answered roll call via text. So that changes the roll call vote to 23 delegates, including yourself.
Thank you very much. We have 23 delegates on who answered roll call. With that, we are back in session. We're out of recess. We went to recess at 9:11 p.m. for 1 hour to 10:11 p.m. So with that, good evening, everybody that's listening. We are here at the special Navajo Nation Council session, which is scheduled for today for December 28th and 29th. And it's a 2-day session through a special petition that the Navajo Nation Council has utilized. So with that, I do like to say that thank you for being on the line. Those of you that are listening, good evening. Not at all those Office of President and Vice President and Madam Chief Justice. Yeah, good evening. With that, moving forth, I see 2 people on the lineup here, and Honorable Rick Nez is on the queue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker So, honorable members of the 24th Council, my brothers and sisters, my honorable colleagues. I would like to apologize from the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry. Please accept my apologies. And I know we're all tired and we want our legislations to be passed. And therefore, my honorable colleagues, I would like to make a motion to suspend the floor rules and create a consent agenda. And the consent agenda will be the following legislations. Legislation number 0228-22. Legislation 0238-22. 0271-22. 0275-22. 0190-22. 0224-22. 0227-22. 0251-22. Mr. Speaker, back to you, sir. I reserve my time. Second, Winika. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Reserving time at 3:26. With that, moving forth on the agenda, or moving forth on the consent agenda, which is motion by Honorable Rick Nez. Gonna go ahead and call for second motion.
Speaker, I second, but I have a question.
Let me get the second motion established first here. Second motion.
Winika. Paul Begay.
Second motion by Edison Winika. With that, we have a proposed consent agenda that has been proposed to us by Honorable Rick Nez and seconded by Honorable Edison Winika at this time. With that, staff, can you go ahead and read the legislations into the record at this time?
Pro Tem Speaker?
Honorable Edmund Yazzie.
Yes, just one quick question, real quick.
Hold on. I'm gonna go to you.
Okay.
You have 5 minutes, let me, Edmund, before I get to the formalities, let me get the legislations, read into the record first, then I'll come to you.
Okay, okay. All right.
Okay, so with that, Manuel, can you proceed with, reading the legislations into the record?
Thank you, Speaker, members of the 24th Navajo Council. Tracking number 023-22, an action relating to the Resource and Development, Budget and Finance and Navigated Committees and to the Navajo Nation Council, approving $1,875,231 from the unreserved undesignated fund balance UUFB to replenish the 110 chapters emergency fund accounts, waiving 12 NNC section 820. This is a 2/3 legislation sponsored by Honorable Eugene So, co-sponsored by Honorable Chairman Daniel Eso, co-sponsored by Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Tracking number 0271-22, an action relating to the Navigated Committee and Navajo Nation Council approving the Navajo Nation Fiscal Recovery Fund Delegate Region Project Plan for Honorable Nathaniel Brown's Delegate Region, Chapters Chichimbato, Denehatso, Kienta. This is a 2/3 legislation sponsored by Honorable Nathaniel Brown, co-sponsored by Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton. Tracking number 0275-22, in action relating to an emergency and the Navajo Nation Council, amending Navajo Nation Council Resolution number CO-53-21, extending the deadline for the Citizen Fund Ganado Fire District Emergency Vehicle Expenditure Plan. This is a 2/3 legislation sponsored by Honorable Vince R. James, co-sponsored by Honorable Speaker Otto So. Tracking number 0190-22, an act relating to the Budget and Finance, Research and Development, and Navigated Committees, Navajo Nation Council, approving $200,000 from the unreserved undesignated fund balance UUFB for the Sawmill Chapter Renovation Project. Legislation is sponsored by Honorable Wilson C. Stewart Jr. Tracking numbers 0224-22, an act relating to the Law and Order and Navigated Committees and Navajo Nation Council, amending the Navajo Nation Criminal Code at 17 NNC Section 320 by recognizing concealed weapon carry permits issued by states. Legislation is sponsored by Honorable Edmund Yazzie, co-sponsored by Honorable Vice Chair Carl R. Slater, co-sponsored by Honorable Eugene So. Tracking number 0228-22, an action relating to the Resource and Development Committee, Navigated Committee, and the Navajo Nation Council, approving the oil and gas operating agreement between the Navajo Nation and EOG Resources Incorporated for certain trust lands in the Upper Fruitland Chapter and the Nanahizad Chapter, Navajo Nation, San Juan County, New Mexico. San Juan County, New Mexico. Sponsor is Honorable Chairman Ricky Nez, co-sponsor Honorable Elmer P. Begay. Tracking number 0227-22, an action relating to Resource and Development, Navigated Committees, Navajo Nation Council, adopting the latest International Building Code, ICC's 2021 International Building Code as applicable to commercial and government buildings constructed by the Navajo Nation government and its entities and political subdivisions. Legislation is sponsored by Honorable Chairwoman Eugenia Charles Newton. Tracking number 0251-22, an act relating to the Budget and Finance, Research and Development, Navigated Committees, Navajo Nation Council, amending CMY-54-18 to extend through crop year 2028 the Citizen Fund Guarantee for the Navajo Nation's annual premiums for the Rainfall Index Pasture Rangeland and Forage Pilot Insurance Program administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, sponsored by Honorable Wilson C. Stewart Jr., co-sponsored by Honorable Chairman Jamie Henyo. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. We have a motion in place for suspension of the floor rules for a consent agenda. So with that, the legislations have been read into the record, and we have a seconding motion that is in place at this time, held by Honorable Edison Winika. At this time, as a consent agenda that is being proposed, legislations are added to the consent agenda, and any delegate can remove a legislation that they feel that needs to be debated or had to be discussed. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move forward with that, and I'm going to turn it over to the floor to the 24th Navajo Nation Council. Council, do you have any questions at this time? And in the queue, I have Honorable Edmund Yazzie.
Speaker, members of the council, everyone that's listening. No, I'm okay. I appreciate the add-on of 0224-22. I'm okay. Thank you.
Speaker, so this is Vice Chair Smith. Put me in the queue.
Thank you very much. And your time. Okay, thank you very much. You didn't reserve your time. Moving on down the line, Madam Chair Karati.
Wave time.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair Amber Crotty.
Yes, thank you, Delegate. So I'd like to remove the legislation 0251-22 regarding the rangeland forage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair Crotty. We'll go ahead and remove 0251-22 from the consent agenda. Moving down the line, Honorable Raymond Smith.
Okay, and on that, Chair or Speaker, so I'd like to add on, modify item O, legislation 0157-22. Very imperative. It's imperative that we put that on, because if we don't, then we don't have that extension. And if we don't address this tonight, then that dollars will revert all back to citizen. And there's many, many projects out there that are still pending. I'd like to request that be added on. Reserve my time.
Reserve your time at 4:17. With that, the Honorable Rick Nez and Honorable Edison Wanika, and ask you for your consensus to add legislation 0157-22.
Speaker, so yes, I will go ahead and add 0157-22 as long as it doesn't have any amendments. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I concur.
Thank you very much. Motion
Speaker,
party and seconding party. With that, before
Delegate Daniel, so request to speak.
Daniel, can I, Honorable Daniels, can I put you into the queue at this time? Because I have to do a formality at this time, so I'm gonna put you into the queue, Daniel. So with that, staff, can you read the that legislation into the record?
Speaker, I have an amendment to 0157. I'd like to keep it off the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Raymond Smith, 0157-22 has an amendment, so we're gonna go ahead and leave that off the consent agenda. And moving on down the line, I don't see anybody on the board. With that, I'm gonna come back to reserve time. Honorable Edmund Yazzie and Madam Chair Crotty did not reserve their time. Honorable Raymond Smith, 4.17.
Ahead, Speaker, so, and 24th Navajo Nation Council. I do not agree with consent. I'd rather hear every one of them. So I want every one of them be removed. Thank you. Reserve my time.
Thank you very much. Reserve time at 4:02. And we have no consent on the consent agenda. So with that, all legislation will be taken off consent agenda.
Delegate Paul Begay.
Honorable Paul Begay, you have the floor.
I am in order, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to motion to adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Paul Begay. We are in the middle of an amendment and all legislation has been taken off the consent agenda. So right now with the rules with adjournment, I have to recognize that. So with that, I will accept your motion, Honorable Paul Begay, to adjourn. With that, I'm going to call for seconding motion.
Stewart.
Seconding motion by Honorable Wilson Stewart. With that, there is no debate on adjournment. We have a motion in place and second in place. So with that, staff, we'll go ahead and proceed with roll call vote.
Beginning the vote with Honorable Elmer Begay, how do you vote? Honorable Elmer Begay? Honorable Elmer Begay did not vote. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr., how do you vote? Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr.? Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr. did not vote. Honorable Paul Begay, how do you vote?
Delegate Paul Begay votes green.
Honorable Paul Begay votes green. Honorable Nathaniel Brown, how do you vote?
Delegate Brown votes red.
Honorable Nathaniel Brown votes red. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote? Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton? Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton votes red via text. Honorable Amber Canaz Bakrati, how do you vote? Honorable Amber Canaz Bakrati? Honorable Amber Canaz Bakrati did not vote. Honorable Seth Damon, how do you vote? Honorable Seth Damon? Honorable Seth Damon votes red. Honorable Herman Daniels, how do you vote?
I vote red.
Honorable Herman Daniels votes red. Honorable Mark Freeland, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Mark Freeland votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona, how do you vote? Honorable
Red.
Pernell Halona votes red. Honorable Jamie Henio, how do you vote? Honorable Jamie Henio votes red via text. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Delegate James votes red.
Honorable Vince James votes red. Honorable Rick Nez, how do you vote?
Delegate Rick Nez votes red.
Honorable Rick Nez votes red. Honorable Carl Slater, how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable Carl Slater votes green. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr., how do you vote?
Red.
Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. votes red. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr., how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. votes green. Honorable Charlene So, how do you vote? Honorable Charlene So. Honorable Charlene So did not vote. Honorable Daniel So, how do you vote?
I vote red.
Honorable Daniel So votes red. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable Eugene So votes red. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr., how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. votes green. Honorable Edison Juanica, how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable Edison Juanica votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazdi, how do you vote?
Red.
Honorable Edmund Yazdi votes red. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair, how do you vote?
Delegate Yellowhair votes red.
Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair votes red. Going back up, Honorable Elmer Begay, how do you vote? Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay did not vote. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr., how do you vote?
That one was red.
Honorable Key Allen Begay votes red. Honorable Amber Canaz Bakrati, how do you vote? Honorable Amber Canaz Bakrati votes green. Honorable Charlene So, how do you vote?
I vote red.
Honorable Charlene So votes red. With that, Honorable Speaker, you have 7 delegates who voted in favor, 15 delegates who oppose, with presiding chair, Speaker Honorable Otto So not voting.
With that, motion to adjourn fails. 7 in favor, 15 opposed, and speaker not voting. With that,
Speaker.
moving on down the line, Honorable Edmund Yazzie on main motion.
Yeah. Speaker, I'd like to say something.
Okay, hold on. Edmund Yazzie, main motion. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, Speaker, if I'm in order, I know it's a long day and we got only an hour and several minutes left. And I know my colleagues have worked so hard on the legislation that we want to get passed, and I appreciate all the comments and all the work that we have done. I like to make the motion and plead with my colleagues on what Honorable Nez motion was on the on combining the legislations. All the legislations that was added with Mr. Honorable Nez, I like to make that motion into a consent agenda, and we can also, after the vote, then we'll talk, gives us at least an hour to finish up the remaining of the business that we have. Speaker, that would be my motion.
Okay, thank you very much.
Please, my colleagues, please, let's,
Consent agenda.
vote.
Delegate Paul Begay will second that.
Okay, so with that, Honorable Edmund Yazzie, I will go ahead and accept your consent agenda and request second motion by Honorable Paul Begay. Staff, can you go ahead and read those legislation back into the record again?
Who's the numbers?
The same legislations that Honorable Rick Nez has proposed. Those same legislations
Except the ones that they wanted deleted? Or-
as all of them.
Thank you, Speaker. Members of 24th Nomination Council. Legislation is tracking number 0238-22. Legislation 0271-22. Legislation 0275-22. Legislation 0190-22. Legislation 0224-22. Legislation 0228-22. Legislation 0227-22. And the two that were added, 0251-22, 0157-22. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's legislation that are on the board right now is legislation that was read into the record. Right now, we have to read the legislations individually, the heading of the legislation into the record. So can you proceed with reading the legislation heading into the record?
Thank you, Speaker. Members of the 24 Nomination Council. Tracking number 0238-22, an action relating to the Resource and Development, Budget and Finance and Navigate Committees and Navajo Nation Council approving $1,875,231 from the unreserved undesignated fund balance UUFB to replenish the 110 chapters emergency fund accounts, waiving 12 NC section 820. This is a 2/3 legislation. Tracking number 0271-22, an action relating to the Navajo Committee, Navajo Nation Council, approving the Navajo Nation Fiscal Recovery Fund Delegate Region Project Plan for Honorable Nathaniel Brown's Delegate Region, chapters Chichimito, Denhotso, and Kayenta, 2/3 legislation. Tracking number 0275-22, an action relating to an emergency and the Navajo Nation Council, amending Navajo Nation Council Resolution number CO-53-21, extending the deadline for the Citizen Fund Ganado Fire District Emergency Vehicle Expenditure Plan, 2/3 legislation. Tracking number 0190-22, an act relating to the Budget and Finance, Resource and Development and Navajo Committees and the Navajo Council approving $200,000 from the unreserved undesignated fund balance UUFB for the Sawmill Chapter Renovation Project. Tracking number 0224-22, an act relating to law and order and Navajo Committees and Navajo Nation Council amending the Navajo Nation Criminal Code at 17 NNC Section 320 by recognizing concealed weapon carry permits issued by states. Tracking number 0228-22, an action relating to the Resource and Development Committee, Navajo Committee and Navajo Nation Council approving the oil and gas operating agreement between the Navajo Nation and EOG Resources Incorporated for certain trust lands in the Upper Fruitland chapter and the Nunahizad chapter, Navajo Nation, San Juan County, New Mexico. Tracking number 0227-22, an action relating to the Resource and Development Navajo Committees and Navajo Nation Council adopting the latest International Building Code, ICC's 2021 International Building Code as applicable to commercial and government buildings constructed by the Navajo Nation government and its entities and political subdivisions. Tracking number 0251-22, an act relating to the Budget and Finance, Resource and Development and Navajo Committees and to the Navajo Nation Council amending CMY-54-18 to extend through crop year 2028 the Citizen Fund guarantee for the Navajo Nation's annual premiums for the rainfall index, pasture range, and forage pilot insurance program administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. You also have tracking number 0157-22, an action relating to law and order, health, education, human services, resource and development, budget and finance, and Navajo Committee, Navajo Nation Council, amending CAP-35-18 Citizen Fund Power Line and Chapter Project Expenditure Plan to extend project completion deadlines for an additional 24 months. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. We have a second in place and motion in place. Motion in place and the second motion in place for the proposed consent agenda raised by Honorable Edmund Yazzie and seconded by Paul Begay. With action on again, delegates, you have the right to remove certain legislations by law through our rules from the a proposed consent agenda. So at this time, I'm going to turn the floor over to the body of the 24th Navajo Nation Council.
Delegate Yellow Hair.
Honorable
Delegate
Yellow Hair.
Hair. I'd like to add a legislation number.
Mr. Yellow Hair. I have Madam Chair Crotty before you. So Madam Chair Crotty, you have before 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, hi, thank you. Shares Delegate So for the legislation, thank you, Chairman Yazzie. And I apologize, I'm not, I believe it may have been Delegate Paul Begay who second. I'd like to remove legislations that deal with funding of dollars. If staff could assist in identifying, I'm on the Zoom, if we could identify or highlight or just scratch out the ones that are either asking for UUFB or CEJASIN dollars. And I'd like to remove 0251-22 since that is dealing with CEJASIN. Thank you, and I'll reserve my time.
4:16 is your reserved time. So with that, staff, can you go ahead and highlight exit out the legislation that are dealing with requesting funding from the UUFB and CEJASIN? Okay, thank you very much, Madam Chair Crotty. The legislations that are dealing with requesting for funding for the undesignated reserve funding or the CSIN and the legislation that you 0251-22 is taken off. Also legislation 0190-22 and 0238-22. Those are the three items on the consent agenda dealing with financial funding requests. So we're taking off 3 legislation total at this time, Madam Chair Crowdy. So moving forth down the line, Honorable Yellow Hair.
Hello, Yate, Nana. I'd like to request to add on legislation 0157-22. The speaker, don't get yellow hair.
Zero,
Yeah, no,
zero,
let my
five.
Zero
Jimmy
one
Yellow Hair.
five seven.
Jimmy Yellow Hair, 057-22 is on the consent agenda. 0157.
Okay,
It's on the consent agenda. Hokoshila, moving on down the line. Moving on down, any other legislation that needs to be added or deleted onto the consent agenda at the time? Go once, twice.
Speaker, Delegate Daniel, so
Honorable Daniel So. You have the floor.
in the previous consent request, I had asked that 0157 be taken off because I have an amendment. And that, since I'm not getting no help, I'm gonna ask that it be taken off the consent so that my amendment can be included in this particular legislation of 0157-22.
Okay, thank you very much. 0157-22 has been removed from the consent agenda. Moving forth on the in the queue again. Nobody on the board? No one asked to request to
Delegate, so
speak.
this is Delegate Brown.
Honorable Brown, you have the floor. You have 5 minutes.
Ayate, Speaker, so Ado 24th Navajo Nation Council. Yate, Kadan, Tleishni, Ado, Okwado, Dikwegi, Dabakagi, Shanant Ashwande, Belanda Ditle, 0271. But I did have an amendment, but I on the biga because our staff and chapters, the attorneys have been working on this. The main thing that I want to express at the slate and the hour and this cold weather with the wind, the snow, it's a blessing. Again, I did mention earlier that I have a a family whose roof half of it blew off 2 nights ago. So our Danahotso chapter has been doing with the very limited resources. So Shanant, with this legislations that are on there, we can immediately address some of the help. For instance, a lot of our people requested sewer cleaning, and that's on there. And then there's a modular house for a family in Chilchimbito. There are some bathroom additions also. So Okadon Kisins Danda do Disha Aquada Ol Kileo Kitchena in Shkatik Adabakagi Ashwanda Shanant Abe Landa Ditle. And again, earlier, I also apologize for I'm just I'm still trying to get a hold of Kayenta Police Department, and the family still have not gotten any of the help from Navajo Nation Police. And I was on the phone with them during our break. Josh, what I really I'm begging you to get these legislations the way it is at this moment, and if we can go to vote, and if I can suspend the floor rules and vote on these current legislations, so I'll reserve the rest of my time. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Reserve your time at 2:48. Moving on down the line. I don't see anybody on the board. And
Vice Chair Smith, Speaker.
Honorable Smith, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker, 24th Navajo Nation Council. I appreciate the efforts to try to do a consent again. And I appreciate the fact that 015722 is considered. I know we're going to run out of time. But I just want to say to the Navajo Nation Council and Speaker, Nada, are all these 2/3 being on the consent? I heard that there was 3 legislations that were going to be removed off the consent. And are they 2/3? The reason why I ask is because the 0157-22 is not considered 2/3. And if it's going to be 2/3, that's still left behind. And more than likely, 0157-22 is not going to even make it by midnight. So that's my question, is all 2/3 being taken? Because we really need to get 0157-22 completed, because that's another big amount of money that's out there. So that's my question on behalf of that Speaker, and I reserve my time. Thank you.
Honorable Smith, the items on the consent agenda. I believe there's 2 legislations that requires 2/3 vote. 3 of them total. And it's added to the consent agenda. And all this is gonna do is it's gonna require the whole consent agenda to be required to have a 2/3 vote to approve. Because it's a mixture of 2/3 and majority vote legislations. The consent agenda that we addressed earlier was in the same format. So that's the reason why when that consent agenda was entertained, we went ahead and moved forward to address that as a 2/3 voting for that consent agenda. That's gonna be my answer to you at this time, Honorable Smith. And now we have so we did that on the previous consent agenda. So with that, going down on the line, I'm gonna go back up to reserve time. I'm gonna go to Madam Chair Crotty.
Yes, thank you. If I
416.
can, I appreciate that. Thank you, Delegate. So if I can ask to remove 0275-22 and 0224-22. Thank you. And I'll reserve my time.
Okay, 4 minutes. Reserve time at 4 minutes. And staff, can you make that I'm on reserve time. Going down the line, Honorable Nate Brown, 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Speaker. So, Ado Ashananta. I think the sooner we can address this consent agenda the way it is, Ado Sachago, the quicker we will get. I do support the rest of the legislations. That should aid or should nebantis case or dishna should shananta a koho okodo na o kanana a koho dig at dabukagi e ashmonde ado at kintlago nas anada di nil a koho o ta washe behodo otso the senosata ado shast quidos zani da osagi e kodo hot an da o kahandle. So with all the respect and through with kodota that nikizo taos koho ashwadashanant kodo dide belanda ditle the way it is ado bikedo I on behalf of my people ishi case zido leshanant ada hunso do the way I waive the rest of my time shanant get.
Speaker, so Delegate Ricknez, request to speak.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Brown, you have no time. You waive your time. Moving forth, we'll put you in the queue, Honorable Nance. I'm going back down on reserve time this time. Then I'll come back to, there's two new players in the on the board here. Honorable Smith. 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
Negotiate that, Speaker. I waive my time.
Thank you very much. Waive the time. With that, new players, Honorable Elmer Begay. Five minutes. Honorable Elmer Begay going once. Honorable Elmer Begay going twice. Star 6, if you can hear me. Honorable Elmer Begay going 3 times. Staff, has he texts you or anything at this time? With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next person in the queue. Honorable Rick Ness.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman Speaker So. Sorry about that. I want to give some time over to Honorable Daniel So, Chairman Daniel So, and I would like to do that at this time. Ashwanda, thank you.
446. Honorable Daniel So, are you in acceptance of time?
Speaker also, yes, I will accept the
Okay.
time.
Okay, Daniel So, you have 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Can proceed.
Okay. I know that we have delegates that are really concerned about adopting 0157. So I will relent on taking it off the consent and will allow for 0157-22 to move forward on the consent agenda. Speaker, Ado Cecilia, Honorable Ricky Nez, thank you for allowing me the time. So I would allow 0157-22 to be included on the consent agenda.
Okay, addition of 0157-22 to be added to the consent agenda. It is added on. Chairman Daniel So. With that, I believe that's the same legislation that Honorable Raymond Smith had his concern on. So with that, moving on. I don't see anybody in the queue at this time.
Delegate James here.
Honorable James.
Speaker, other members of the council, other Shimasan, Honorable Amber Crowdy, Kodo legislation 0275, an extension date for the Ganado emergency vehicles to continue to be built. Had been in a purchase order, it wasn't contractical. Kodo ba na oshkanto Kodo consent agenda banane deed zone. So we're not asking for funds or anything. It's just to extend the deadline date to utilize the funds. Currently, we have the equipments being built. Ede Yashimasan, Honorable Amber Crowdy, Naisis Kondoli, Doshanat Ahmatlaniki. That's legislation 0275-22. I can't have last speaker. Reserve my time.
Thank you very much. Honorable Vince James is request to add back on 0275 back onto the consent agenda. Staff, can you make that adjustment? Staff, can you proceed with adding on that legislation back onto the consent agenda? I'll come back to Madam Chair Crotty when using her reserve time. Bushila, moving on down the line. Any other new players on the board that request to speak at this time? To the motion.
Delegate, call in again.
Honorable Elmer Begay. I called on you 3 times, but I'm gonna go ahead and recognize you. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, I just wanted to ask very quickly that this consent agenda, if my legislation is under the 0232-22, is regarding the Navajo Nation shopping center.com. So I want to ask that question. Thank you, I reserve my time.
4:30, Honorable Elmer Begay, legislation 0232-22 is not on the consent agenda. Moving on down the line. With the reserve time, I'm gonna go ahead and come back to Honorable Eugene So.
Mother, my name is Rennie. I'd like to request for my legislation, historic legislation 0108-22 to be added on to the consent if it's going to go further. Or not Ashkan, or the people of Shonda. Reserve my time.
Reserve time at 4:36. Staff, Honorable So request to add on 0108-22 to the consent agenda. Moving on down the road, I'm gonna go ahead and move to read the legislation into the record.
Thank you, Speaker. Emergency 24th Nomination Council, tracking number 0108-22, an act relating to the Health, Education, Human Services, Law and Order, Budget and Finance, and Nabaquiete Committees and Navajo Nation Council repealing 9 NNC Section 2C of the Diné Marriage Act of 2005 to equally recognize all marriages within the Navajo Nation and amending other provisions in Title IX related to marriage within the Navajo Nation. Legislation is sponsored by Honorable Eugene So, co-sponsored by Honorable Nathaniel Brown. This is a majority legislation. Mr. Speaker.
Koshila, with that, addition to the consent agenda, and then go back to I did not go back to the sponsor on 0257 because it was on there earlier and the concurrence had happened. So this is a new legislation that has been added to the consent agenda. With that, I'm going to go ahead and go to the motioning parties. You consent to add this legislation onto the consent agenda at this time. Honorable Yazi?
Chair, can you hear me, Speaker?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I know that the main on the consent, we're at what 11:15 almost p.m. And I know we said that we want to get our legislations passed. So with that, I would like to add 0224-22 back on, and then I'm okay with the other, sir.
4. What is 224?
Or is that still on, Chair, Speaker?
224 was removed, and I can go ahead and hey, staff, can you go ahead and proceed to add that legislation back on? And Edmund Yazi, I need concurrence from you on the request that was made for legislation 0108-22.
Yes, Speaker, as long as we add on 0224-22, sir.
Sheila, moving on. Honorable Paul Begay.
Oh, Viva.
Sheila, moving on down the line. Have that in place. And looking at it, I don't see anybody in the queue at this time. So back
This
to
is Delegate Yellow Hair.
Honorable Yellow Hair.
Delegate Yellow Giggins.
Hold on.
Doug.
Honorable Yellow Hair.
Well.
Honorable Yellow Hair. You didn't reserve your
Oh.
time.
I reserved in me as a fella. You should go check on my what I said reserved in me.
Honorable Yellow Hair, you didn't reserve your time.
I did.
How can I say, I listened out and staff also concurred with that. So AD with that, I have to stand with that ruling. And moving on down the line.
That's not me.
Moving on down. Honorable Daniels, you have the floor.
Thank you. Without Mr. Speaker, Cat, Cat. I don't know what I'm on the consent agenda, the two that were added on just recently. Legislation 0108-22. 80 that is because we've been getting a lot of text on and legislation we get the comments of the hello. So 80 is a year never unlate even so has your not get the person from 80 could out motioning parties without 80 that so yeah had a deal so it has opened it so it about Mr. Speaker, I don't know. I'd like to yield the rest of my time to my favorite chief, Daniel So. Okay, at any time.
Sheila, with that, Daniel So. What's the time? 3:47. With that, request to remove with that, Honorable Daniel requests to remove legislation 0108-22 and gave his remaining time of 3:47 3 minutes and 47 seconds to Daniel So. Daniel So, you in acceptance of that time?
Speaker Otto So, 24th Navajo Nation Council, to my favorite Che, Herman Daniels, Chairman Ricky Nez beat you to that donation. So I got the 0157 back onto the consent agenda. I had my favorite Che, but I will decline the donation at this time. But Ayla, Speaker, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. With that, going on down the line, no more time for Honorable Daniel Herman Daniels. With that, I don't see anybody on the hold on. I don't see anybody in the queue. And you have reserved time. I'll come back to you, Eugene So. So with that, I'm gonna have to go back to reserve time again. And with that, reserve time. Let's see, go back through my notes here, guys. Work with me. They waived their time, And Honorable Amber Crotty. Reserve time, 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Shiaz, I appreciate that. So I asked to remove 0275-22, asked to remove 0224-22, and to remove 0157-22. And I'll reserve my time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Reserve time at 3:40. With that, can I have staff make those adjustments? Removing 0257-22, 0224-22, and 0157-22. Pushing on, moving on down the line. And through reserve time. And Honorable Honorable Vince James, 3 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yeah, that's another speaker. Ado Senat Arnold Judge Ignatius Kant Ashin to Ohodon Hilda. Alto Oko Kodoshi to Belkate Dika Kodo consent agenda Giko. Do yosin Joka do Mexico. The Ashin Hait Ahota Dashin. The end has Ade Ahit Ahota Nahaji do Baslo Ahit Ahota Shin Hodon Nislako. Oko Shaha Adoshinat Arnold Lenigi. Kodo the Hajo Button Leni Ben Sahakisako. Ben says case do Ben Ha. A case says Zenko. Oko Kot Ad the Ashode Kodo consent agenda Belkate Ni Kaigido Dabakagi to Hajo Belkate Dika. Oko Nan Shidalia do large by Yatasil Tito large. I Nihilchita hoist Ansoleko. Don't hit in the end the neighbor 8 don't hit in the ebasit, Epinat Arni Glenco. Oko Kunza the whole just the shin, Nahal Shin, nihito ken hinaliketan hist hat ila hat nido hat ila tanne jo hot ashiyetan hinel elto ko kunza ta hol jishto ko ako asian penachin sa case alto ta to yoshin jo ka to lelo ko do ba ya hasen do le chokot adan has ako ado ne shin hojo shiyat on hinan ni hiten ne endleniki ba nanit edo kodopenat a bananit lido le the yank on sa case at au ni het otla nas la ko ishi be benel ni do le ko ni hiten ne endleniki ko nacha ai adot aho di hanana hahiki piche yat hota te dika kot a insa case that that eko ako yat hoshi jono shi be ke dika shinat a no kliniki kodo consent agenda gi akot art ni chena is condole to jono shi digen hilna ta hotlo do zin zilti osen neli bi ke on it eniki shi jonon hillet yanata ado ni het ho ni het ja na das lado le ni het in na klosche bezin sabezels ist na hol a vi kana hoit in do le stop ke a hotes a kot ojes snel ojes na ligi ke ta hat eni do kot a ich has se do le ko a je ha tro de trad it be it be has se do jo pa di ni do ko ako kot art kodo hanne en lenegin hil istan hoshla do leko I'll waive the rest of my time. Shanale speaker and members of the council. I'll quote it all.
Oshina, moving on down. Reserve time. Honorable Elmer Begay at 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
So other members of the 24th Navajo Nation Council, so yat ito kaya aral yata kido ani hot aya. Adi ya yata kido ani hunza ka hodis. So dabal khata hashish adi ite ho ada shin kuji khayda buje आज के दिन कितना हो चुका हो पांची के an याते हो शायद हम जैसे हो जिसको खाने चाहो आज नहीं खाने चाहिए होते आज तो ये नाश्ता डालते पानी से हो इसी क्या तो ऐसे तो क्या फिर होते ना ना हो जिसने कोई क्या हो यार को तो a text my motion standard those so very cool. I'd like to request for a modification to motion to add the legislation 232-22. The indicate on the photo. I'll motion that was second like indicate on the photo. I shall wait reserve my time. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Edmund Yaz. Hold on. Oshina, moving on down. Adding legislation 0232-22 onto the consent agenda requested by Honorable Elmer Begay. Staff make that adjustment. And then could I get Mr. Rico to go ahead and read that legislation into the record?
Thank you, Speaker. Members of the 24th Nomination Council, tracking number 0232-22, an action relating to the Resource Development Budget and Finance and Napakiata Committees and to the Nomination Council, approving $17,513,187 from the Citizen Fund for the Navajo Nation Shopping Center Incorporated for NSCI's proposed expansion of the Telecom Shopping Center, approving the related expenditure plan. This legislation is a 2/3 vote, sponsored by Honorable Elmer P. Begay, co-sponsored by Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Edmund Yazi and Honorable Paul Begay, any consensus from the motioning party?
Speaker, colleagues, I know we all want to get our legislations on, and I just respectfully, first of all, ask that we add 0224-22 back on. And it's a legislation that has been worked on for actually years. And so, but I'm like to add that back on, and then yes, I'm okay with the other. Help one another. Speaker, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Staff, make that adjustment. So with that, then moving forth on down the line, I have Honorable Eugene So, 4 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yo, yes, that this legislation 0108-22 has been on the agenda for since July 22, and it has went through the process, and also now with the a majority go a Gnostic stance. I don't need the council that Chicago. Nabi works in Navajo. I want this one to be on the discontent agenda right now. We're running out of time. There's over the net. There's over 17 signatures on the petition favoring it. Even I don't. I've been behind you for 4 years. The cases on for G. Whatever legislation that you had, I was for it. The cases on for G. I didn't run again. So so even now, I'm just trying to help the people, the rights of the people. It is huge key to vote on this 108-108-22 marriage equality. It's time. I saw it. The speaker. Thank you. I will reserve my time.
Reserve time at 3:20 to add on legislation 0108-22.
Second by Seth Damon.
Make that adjustment. Staff, and it was read into the record also. Please make that adjustment on the board. Sheila, moving on down the line. On time. Reserve time. So with that, we went through back through the reserve time. And Honorable Edwin Yazi, I'm going to come back to you at this time as the sponsor of the main motion of this consent agenda. Honorable Edwin Yazi.
Speaker, sir, 11:30 p.m. Everybody's request, with respect, we're trying to get this done. So with that, yes, I'm okay to help each other out with this 24th Navajo Nation Council.
Okay. Thank you very much. With that, looking at the board, there's no new player on the board, and I still have reserved time. And at this time, the reserved time, Madam Chair Crotty, you have 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Thank you, Chair Delegate. So I'd like to remove from the consent agenda legislation 0232-22. (0224-22). And 0108. Now reserve my time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Reserve time at 3:08. Staff, make those adjustments. Moving on down the line, reserve time. Honorable. Honorable Elmer Begay, 3 minutes and, oh, no, you didn't save your time. Honorable Eugene So.
Served
3
my
minutes
time.
and 20 seconds. Eugene So, 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
I reserved my time, Speaker.
Honorable Elmer Begay, you did not reserve your time. Honorable Eugene So, you have 3
I did
minutes and
reserve my
20
time.
seconds. No, staff concurred that you didn't reserve your time. Sorry, Mr. Elmer Begay, but that's what we have, what we hear here. So with that, Eugene So, you have 3 minutes and 20 seconds reserved time.
I would like to still request that 0108 back on the consent agenda in regards to my daily prayers every day to help the people to have their rights to be heard. And also that all men are created equal. I'm asking my Father God to help me to make it possible that all men are created equal as God, as we trusted in God. I showed it. This it's time. I showed it to this one to be on. We only got about 30 minutes. I don't feel that anything other than that can go forward after this consent agenda pass. So it is not some partners. So I showed it on Kodoshima, Nashahin Yogi, Yoshaba send the decos. The people are I showed it and reserve my time.
Thank you very much. With that, looking at the reserve time, I went through the reserve time. We had 2 new players on the board, 3 new players. Honorable Charlene So.
Yad Eshiyaj Ashwadit
Shema.
Oh yeah, Yad Eshana Ashnan 24th Navajo Nation Council delegates. I don't should net up no I am going to make a request respectfully to Honorable Paul Begay and Honorable Edmund Yazzie. The legislation 0108-22. I don't not kickle the not kickle a 0224-22. I ask that you please keep that on and this consent agenda. And they say that the queen Shiba Z by Yik it does a a lot of this discussion and back and forth should have taken place at Nabi. We always do this at the 11th hour. The ARPA legislation, Shinaye Hadzi, Honorable Brown, Ayasabashin, and let's leave it as is. Let's pass this legislation. Legislation Keta in the ARPA legislation. Is I know I'm feeling under the weather right now, but I'm begging each and every one of you, let's pass this consent agenda right now. I reserve time.
Thank you very much. The staff, can you make those adjustments? 0108-22 and 0224-22 was read into the record. I just need the consent of the motioning party and seconding party. Honorable Yazi. Honorable Edmund Yazi.
Yes, Speaker, members of the council, I'm just gonna plead with all our colleagues and, that we add all the items that is respectfully asked by our colleagues to be added on the consent. And I'm gonna ask that my colleagues just accept all the requests from our honorable delegates. And yes, I'm okay with that, just pleading with our colleagues before the midnight hour. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much. With that, Honorable Paul Begay.
Speaker, so, no, yeah, oh. Oh, no, Papa, and I didn't do it. And then got a straight and honey, isn't there? See the legislation 0108-22. I see Yasan and Asha ADG. A traffic here, the horse at the snow. I don't see a traffic in the ADG Yatas. Read not on the Hanna, Hatchin, Ian, Abahan. Hanna, Kakoya. It is given in a lelek, Ade, Hanna again, Dabla. For Yegabas tea. Begin the ne either there's on either yilla. Doesn't it the internet? There's only double kitchen in the dish after. Could they go on for case? I don't have hardly the question baby has seat or never this kid. Could that a could that listen? Could AD Ashananka 0224 call. Oh, it can go on the agenda, consent agenda. 0108-22 Ashananka. Be quite a hotel. Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. With that, the seconding motion of the party indicates that 0108-22, he does not concur to. So with that, the 0224-22 is on the agenda. 0224-22. 108 has been removed. With that, tonight, moving forth on down the line. New players, Honorable Wilson Stewart.
Oh, good evening. It's not good morning, do you need Speaker, Mr. So, Otto and the colleagues of the 24th Nomination Council. Kodegi Enan Hidesh Kontoles Nana legislation 157-22 Ashore Nahapi Nato Zotole for consent. Otto Kodegi Aya Bekionagi Aya, let's just vote on what is already being added as a consent. 157 AI.nabi kia AI.baby Landasically we had a vote of 15 in favor or 17, 17 in favor. Korogi Ashmore and he's just conflict Nana as a co-sponsor to that 157 to add it back to the agenda and then just vote on our consent agenda. We only have 20 minutes, 21 minutes. We're going to have time for our staff to read it as well. I could reserve my time, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Legislation 0157-22 is being requested to be added back onto the consent agenda. This time, the legislation had been read into the record. Honorable Edwin Yazi and Honorable Paul Begay, I need your consensus.
Speaker, yes.
Okay, Honorable Paul Begay,
Oh, Leela.
Agushila, moving on down the line, legislation 0157-22 is added back onto the consent agenda. With that, going on down the line, Honorable Key Allen Begay.
Speaker, I don't have anything to say, but I'll just go ahead and defer my time to Delegate Elmer Begay. Speaker, thank you.
Agushila, moving on down the line, Honorable Elmer Begay. You accept the time, 4:52.
Yeah. Oh, I accept it.
Okay, Honorable Elmer Begay.
I can see Chad. No, I don't share. I don't share that to let Kiel McGee don't share though. I don't because in none his contact is go. I don't because the time in it Vince James because what I go I think so they are not in the car. That was I see option as those yeah share those go. But I want to make a motion to add legislation to 232-22 again. To let motion in lagi da admiralty and the second in like the shunado the political. But they don't teach council the schedule the nanako. But we double my motion had speaker. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Legislation 0232-22 was read into the record. And at this time, I'm going to go back to the sponsoring main motion holder, Honorable Edwin Yazzie and Honorable Paul Begay. Do you concur with this
Speaker.
request?
To help everyone that is making requests, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Paul Begay.
Speakers, so 19 minutes, I think. Pushing. So the consent agenda, okay. Well, actually, I think we will leave it up to President Nance to decide. I'll just follow Honorable Delegate Yazzie to approve also. Thank you.
So Honorable Paul Begay, you're requesting that all the remaining legislation to be added on to the consent agenda at this time. Honorable Paul
Speaker,
Begay.
Speaker, so just what Honorable Delegate Yazzie agreed to. Idea. Thank you.
Sheila. Yes, that's the request this time with this motion. With that, staff, could I go and allow you to read the make the adjustments on the board and start reading the legislations that needed to be added to the consent agenda at this time, all remaining legislations. Okay, whoever then.
This is 232.
Alrighty then, so it's just 232 then, so we don't have to read everything into the record. Moving on down the line, I don't see anybody on the board. With that, I'm gonna go back to reserve time. Reserve time, Honorable Amber Kenneth Bakrati. You have 3 minutes and 8 seconds.
Oh, yeah, as Delegate So, I'd like to remove 0227-22, 0157-22, and 0232-22. And I'll reserve my time. Thank you. I'm ready to vote.
2:50 remaining time. Moving on down the line, Honorable Jean So. 2 minutes, 16 seconds.
because national Shela on the star hoses at Donald Arcosa. Lake is known and unstandard in Lincoln, she and she becomes the other teaching Hanana negative is me. I should a concept died I got in the chambers. It are the Nebanasha, Neba state of a natural me in the heart of Neba has even a concept. I'm here in the chambers. All else the dreams, that the whole thought about Chicago share. One more time, I want to ask to put 0108 back on the -22 back on the consent. I really requested and plead with you guys. I showed it the never right say that James Key for all men are equal. It in James Key concept. I'm here in the chambers. I'm here since yesterday too. That other night, over it's come. I will call on in the morning. Control with the same clothes that I was wearing. I don't call on that street egg. I said, being the speaker and also the farmer. They're on a hard time. So could have a non horse cart. I showed it. Shop a cart not so. On so kids, I showed it. She seems all that I know. I'm pretty sure you have a heart. I showed them to the snake on the decoder. I saw them to 9-inch key. To put the 0108-22 back on this consent agenda, I showed it. It's for the people. The Shipan Heart is maybe the one that fought for democracy of the whole world. LGBTQ have their rights. I shown them to the street of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Legislation 0108 is being requested to be put back onto the agenda, and remaining time is 20 seconds. With that, I just need a concurrence from motioning parties. Honorable Yazzie,
Speaker, members of council, got 15 minutes left. Yes, I'll go ahead and do it.
okay, Honorable Paul Begay, Honorable Monica. I can put you into the queue. So Honorable Paul Begay, I need a concurrence from you.
Speaker, so again, the anonymity. Navajo culture, which is that the know the heart is a little ego, Mr. The Haja or deities to give and not King Gido, be in the lonesome. I wrote Eda, had issue the nation children, had issue son children. I die, Mrs. Beta husband. I wrote ego, it's the honey. Which is not that she's the Tahoe, that's where Nahoti is left. I do about how long so. Which should be hard to see. She oh, ye, what else, doctor? I don't see the so contend the Schneider. So things let the Schneider. That is that the snow, a dean struggle. I don't head. Ye go, this is Kisty Digi. I'll say, had Nigo Bahan next. The ne Asahari Nago, yet it's a la. I don't send Asahari Nago, yet it's a la, no, a Hindi taste. Don't ego ina, if you don't need. Put in the next hot egg, some hot egg, and he need hollow. ado tehda asna so follow do le sunu go sin so ado ni ado tehda pai ki dei to ye was lanka na ta sin na no sin bidi be hata be hanati to not for me to decide for the holy people. My fear is breaking the laws of the holy people. Behas anin ha'aliyaya, ni takat. Atibela kana behas ani leki kien the kit ni kaya. Akoti singa ka hunzago holjis. Not ashito bandol o ajidole. President one aja ol kisako. Oshi Honorable Delegate Edmund Yazi in Ningi over Kate Ole. Thank you.
Sheila, thank you very much. Legislation 0108 added back onto the agenda. With that, moving on down the line, reserve time, Honorable Charlene So. 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Legislation 0157-22, if we can put that back on the consent agenda. Joe A. Aja Power Line, Besher Aja did nothing yet, but you can't say no to that. Let's vote on this. We only have 9 minutes. And if I can, I'm ready to vote, cease debate if that is possible, if I'm in order, Speaker. Thank you.
With this consent agenda, as we're going through the process, there is a debate that is going on. Many of my colleagues has weighed in, supporting adding legislations onto the cease debate and taking legislations off the agenda. So we have colleagues that are for and are against the legislations that are added on. And at this time, with the cease debate that has been brought forth by Honorable Charlene So, I will recognize that. And with that, we'll call for
Point of order.
motion.
Point of order, Speaker.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, what is your point of order?
Speaker, I feel like this is not a debate. This is, what we're compromising. We're asking each other to consider each other's legislation. And if we, if we're going to go to a cease debate, then I think as a delegate, I have the right to just remove everything from the consent agenda. If that's what we want to do, I think, we're still in the process, and I believe that there's 2 more people who have been added to the queue. So I don't think that this consent agenda is a debate. I think we're trying to compromise, and we're asking each other to get the legislation through. So if we're going to cease debate, then I, as a delegate, I'm going to ask that every single one of these be removed off the consent agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I already recognize the cease debate at this time for the consent agenda, as Honorable Charlene So has posed for cease debate. And as this compromise, I believe this is a healthy discussion. Again, there's for and against people, these legislations to be added onto the consent agenda. Right now with this, yes, I do see that there's 2 people on the board, and we've been having this discussion for some time. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stand with my ruling and motion to accept Charlene So's motion, and I'm going to call for a seconding motion at this time.
Point of order, Delegate Crotty.
Honorable Crotty.
Eugene So.
Point of order. I'm going to go ahead and recognize your point of order. Go ahead and proceed.
Yes, thank you, Shiaj Delegate. So I appreciate your recap, but I would need you to state the rule in which you're making your decision based on Title II language regarding the consent agenda. Thank you.
The consent agenda is entertained through a normal process, which we call a suspension of full rules. And that suspension of full rules has a motion and has a second. And with that, the motioning party has allowed and indicated amount or legislations to be added on to the consent agenda. And these legislation had been added on, and these legislation had been deleted. As this discussion came forth, as we look at it as a compromise or a discussion. And with this is a regular process within the Navajo Nation Council, suspension of full rules. With this discussion, we're going, I allowed the council, I didn't say no to the council as the regular process was going through. I allowed you guys to have, to utilize your time, and I recognized you, delegates who request to speak. And at this time, Honorable Charlene So requests a cease debate. And it is in her prerogatory to make that motion. Each delegate has that right to motion a cease debate. So I recognize Honorable Charlene So for her motioning. I'm not trying to be biased or anything. I'm just trying to get this process moving forward so that we can address the legislations. I'm not for it or I'm not against it. As a speaker, I'm here to try to guide and maneuver this meeting forward for the 24th Navajo Nation Council. And again, I'm just trying to provide the guidance here. I recognize the cease debate, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not for it or I'm not against it. As the votes are being cast, I won't even vote on this. You guys will be able to make that decision. We're just trying to get through this formality. And that's my ruling, that's my decision. So with that, I heard earlier a cease debate or seconding motion by Eugene So.
Point of order, Delegate Crotty.
Honorable Madam Chair Crotty, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Delegate Sociage. My question was regarding Title II, Section 163, the agenda, paragraph B. So it states the agenda shall allow for the inclusion of a consent schedule, which is a listing of resolutions which would likely be approved by unanimous consent of the delegate in attendance. The consent schedule shall be developed by the speaker upon request by any delegate, and the item on the consent schedule shall be moved to the regular schedule on the agenda. The speaker shall move any item on the consent schedule which receives more than 5 minutes of debate or questioning to the regular schedule on the agenda. So my point of order is, how have you complied with this provision of Title II law, which has the guiding authority of our laws and the rules, and this guides, this overrules any type of maybe either precedent or normalization, because actually there hasn't been a point where a speaker or pro tem speaker has allowed for a legislation that was removed from the consent to be added back on. Because when that delegate asked through their allotted time for a legislation to be removed, that was honored and we moved on. And that is my point of order. Please identify how Section 163B has been appropriately implemented in this discussion. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair Crotty. Right now, it's 12 o'clock. Time has expired. And right now we are at the last council session of the year. And I appreciate the Navajo Nation Council, 24th Navajo Nation Council, for being on the line. And as we move forth into this next year. I appreciate you guys all being on the line. And your debates, your discussion are all valid. And working on areas of how to try to maneuver and get these legislations through that each and every delegate has worked on very hard. Right now, time has expired, and I'm going to go ahead and send staff home. I appreciate all of you that are on the line. And you guys travel safe, be safe out there. Staff is on administrative leave tomorrow. They deserve that leave because they work very hard for us. Tomorrow the staff is off. I wish and every one of you, my colleagues of the 24th Navajo Nation Council, a happy new year. Be safe out there, travel safe, and
Speaker, I have a question.
I really would like to indicate that spend time with your family. But right now we have no more time. Time has expired. This council session is not in, the council session is completed. It is now December 30th, 2022, 12:02 a.m. So time has expired. Thank you very much. Travel safe.